I don't know how familiar you are with what takes place narratively in our system every 4 years. But what we have is a system in which change, that is to say, meaningful change that might actually stand a chance of confronting the corruption, is frustrated at the primaries. That is to say, sometimes we have candidates who actually would be interested in fixing the system. They are frozen out in the primaries. We are delivered something either disappointing or false in the general election, and then we have a kind of incoherent conversation over it. But those of us who for decades have looked at the system and said, none of these solutions, neither the red solution or the blue solution, actually is going to change anything going forward. We have to break out of it. We are immediately confronted with the lesser evil paradox. If you vote for something other than the major party candidates, you are voting for something that will draw votes away from whichever of those major party candidates is closer to your own position and empower the one farther away. So your friends are constantly telling you, don't do that. If you vote for something outside of the duopoly, you're going to empower the greater evil, and then this is going to be your fault. Now, there's always been something wrong with this logic. If, for example, Ralph Nader won a single vote and the Democrats lost by 1 vote, we would blame Ralph Nader for spoiling the election, when in fact the answer is, how come you didn't represent the people and therefore win in a landslide? That's the fault of the Democrats. That's not Ralph Nader's fault. But nonetheless, the social phenomenon of being told that the lesser evil is your moral imperative because empowering the greater evil is unthinkable. And if you can find your way out of that little trap, then you're told, well, yes, maybe in an ordinary year, but this time the Supreme Court has gotten critical. And if you vote for the greater evil, you're going to ruin the country for decades to come by virtue of the fact that the Supreme Court is an appointment for life. Okay, so Unity 2020 is a structural plan to beat the lesser evil paradox.